on the same day at the same time, and they asked, what is Croesus doing back at Sardis right now? And the Temple of Apollo at Delphi gave the best answer. And the temple said, I forget the exact words, but the oracle said, I see bronze and I see tortoiseshell and I see heat. And in fact, Croesus was making turtle soup back in Sardis, and that was the thing he was asking for, and so Delphi clearly won. So he then sent more gifts to Delphi, some of which survive in the treasuries and are in the museum at Delphi now. And he asked the oracle at Delphi if he should attack the Persians. And the oracle replied, did we talk about this earlier in the trip?
Yeah.
Yeah, the oracle replied, if you attack the Persians, you will destroy a great empire. So this was seen as one of the four best, even if it lost that competition in 548 BC. This was seen as one of the major centers. And what these centers did was they offered consultation to people about stuff going on in their lives. And we have huge numbers of inscriptions and stories told in histories and in other narratives from the ancient world. We have thousands of documented questions that were asked of the oracles, the different oracles. And the most common question, the most frequent question asked of the oracles involved paternity. Either, is he really my son, or will I have a son? And those are the major variations there. People would come here and consult. This is one of those things that's gotten so sanitized and normalized. I don't know how many of you read your horoscope in the paper now. The horoscopes are really easy ways to do this now. But you can, if you buy the Weekly World News, you'll find all of these charms and medals you can buy that will improve your fortune. There are phone-in psychic shows. Has anybody ever listened to those? Those are riotously funny on radio late at night.
The Long Island Medium.
I haven't heard the Long Island Medium, but I heard a really bad one out in Ohio about 15 years ago. She was like dead wrong on everything she said. This one caller called up and she just started talking, saying, "Don't tell me your name begins with B." And the woman said, like, "No, my name's Louise. Your husband's name begins with B. I'm not married, and my boyfriend's name does not begin with B." And it was just like, it just went on for about 10 minutes of complete ineptitude. It was pretty funny to listen to as we were driving. But these were seen as places where you could get some guidance. And so what would happen here is petitioners would cleanse themselves and come up the stairs, and they would go to this platform over here where the priests would receive their petitions, and the priests would then carry the petitions inside the temple to the priestess, who was sitting down in a chamber in the middle open space of the temple complex. And then the priestess would give some kind of answer, and the priest would write it down, and they would come and bring the answer back to the petitioner who was waiting up here on the porch. So this is a much different temple in so many different ways. People are actually walking up on the steps of the temple. This did not happen in any other temple that we know about in the ancient world. And then there was an inner area of the temple which is open to the sky. That's completely unique. Not unusual, it's unique. And there's a small little chamber where the priest would sit down inside, and we should go in there in a minute. Architecturally, this is one of the most spectacularly preserved temples of antiquity. I think it's the fourth biggest Ionic temple in the ancient world. Ephesus is bigger. Sardis' Temple of Artemis is slightly bigger. Samosera Temple is bigger. But then I think this is number 4. I don't know another that's big. And you certainly, just walking around these columns, you get a feel for the scale, and looking at the two columns that are stacked right up to the top there.
Do you know if there would have been a ceiling?
Huh?
Do you know?
This would have all had a ceiling over it, coffering. a nicely coffered ceiling, and there would be ceiling right back to the chamber space there. Yeah, absolutely. And it's also really just the number of columns. This is a forest of huge columns that we're walking around with. It's also really, architectural historians go crazy when they see this place, because you already noticed just walking up these stairs, or the stairs right there, that there are mason marks every place, and so there's a really interesting record here of how the economy of temple construction worked. This is a real gold mine of data for archaeologists and architectural historians. Let's walk down into the inner chamber there.